Hi friends! Today we're gonna talk about something super important.
Those Disney bathroom selfies got y'all real upset, huh?
This does not even deserve a captain's log introduction, because this is dead serious.
How's it going, everybody? I think Lily Tino is cooked. Let me tell you why. When I started to make this video, everybody, I went into it with the same expectations I do with just about every single video. I've got to do a majority of the research. I got to find most of what I can because there's no major outlets ever covering this crazy stuff. That's why it's perfect for people like me, idiots on the internet who are just primed for this kind of subject matter. But then, while I'm researching Lily Tino, something weird happened. I started seeing multiple news articles pop up over and over again about what Lily Tino has done, and I think it's game over, everybody. Now you may be wondering what the heck is even going on, and I'll tell each and every one of you. So Lily Tino has been a very controversial creator for the last year or so, I believe, and now it's finally boiled over because she had made a habit of going into Disneylands and different kind of restaurants like that and seemingly was seeking to get misgendered so she could potentially get something free, or at least that's what a lot of people was assuming, and don't worry, we will talk about that more later in the video. But for right now, all you need to know is that was one of her most controversial subjects, and the fact Lily Tino made a habit taking advantage of other people's privacy, and she really finally stepped over the line here recently. She decided while in the bathroom she was going to take a picture of herself just in the mirror with like at least 7 or 8 other females in the background. One girl was seemingly getting dressed, so Lily Tino was just in there watching this lady get dressed, and Lily Tino is a lesbian, so she is attracted to other females, and she decided to take a little snapshot. Now it was afterwards, but it's still incredibly strange, and not only did Lily Tino take this picture for her own personal amusement, she decided, which is just so messed up, everything about this is just absolutely despicable, but she decides that she's gonna upload it to her Instagram or TikTok. Either one, it doesn't matter, they're both equally awful because you're taking advantage of other people's privacy. And Lily Tino started getting a lot of backlash about this, deservingly so. I mean, I'm not sure how this has been going on for so long, especially when we get deeper into the video and you see more of what Lily Tino has been up to. This has been a long time coming, and you think Lily Tino would see the errors of her ways. No, not at all. Lily Tino has doubled down. Not only doubled down, she's tripled down, quadrupled down. But in all seriousness, let's check out Lily Tino's response to her getting called out by multiple creators and multiple news organizations now.
Those Disney bathroom selfies got y'all real upset, huh? Saying, oh, Lily, you can't take selfies in the bathroom, it's not appropriate. Well, let me remind you that literally every celebrity you've ever enjoyed on screen has at one point taken a bathroom selfie. For example, and it's not just celebrities. Any woman you ever meet has likely taken a photo in a public bathroom. Why, you ask? Because we look cute and we want to document it.
What a great response, isn't it? Now I'm going to show you guys the picture that Lily Tino took of herself. Now I'm not going to show everything Lily did because we're going to have a little bit more respect than that. We're just going to show Lily's face. But yes, I was 100% right. It does seem like someone is getting dressed in the background. And Lily's just like, well, these people are accepting it. Why doesn't the entire world? It's like, you know what, Lily Tino? Did you ever think for a second that there is a huge person? I don't know how big Lily Tino is physically, but I'm gonna tell you it's probably a lot bigger than those girls. He's probably a lot stronger. It's not even a guess. He is a lot stronger than them. Do you really think while they're in such a private moment that they're gonna speak up and potentially have some crazy person them in the bathroom? No, they're gonna move on, and they're not gonna take the potential backlash that you could bring to them. It's just lucky for everyone else that people are finally starting to call you out on your misdeeds, and it doesn't quite matter how much you pass, quote unquote, Lily Tino, as he says in the part I cut out of the video because it just wasn't very entertaining. He was just complaining about his life. What's really about it is that no matter what you are, whether you pass quote unquote or not, that is an extremely disrespectful thing to do. You've obviously shown these people you're taking photos of, you're unhinged, and who knows what else you're capable of. I don't think it truly matters what you're trying to go for. I think it matters what you did. And it's also worse when you've shown predatory behavior before, just straight up predatory behavior. But there's one more thing I want to mention before we jump on to your predatory behavior, Lily Tino, and that is you bring up that there's tons of celebrities, because celebrities are really the people we should look up to in this world, isn't it? Isn't that right, everybody? We should definitely look to Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson for all of his muscle building programs. He definitely only eats rice and chicken for about 8,000, 9,000 of his calories. I mean, for sure, that's 100% what's happening. They're the role models of honesty. And then you're over here saying, look at these girls. They take pictures in the mirror. Like, they're taking selfies and no one's complaining about them. But out of all of those examples, all of those you've shown, how many of them were alone in the bathroom? And whenever you typically see like a girl take a selfie with other girls in the bathroom, they're her friends and just her friends. And you will see people get called out for it if there's strangers in the background. I have definitely been into a bar where someone has got called out for that and there was almost problems. It happens all the time. So that's why you see those girls by themselves, because they're not predatory, they're not bin creepers, and they as females know that they deserve the respect and privacy, right? So they're not going to do that to the others. But you, Lily Tino, you don't understand that, or you do and you just simply don't care. But right now I want to show you guys that Lily Tino has had a past of predatory behavior, so this just isn't that shocking. It's just amazing that she's finally getting called out for it on a mass scale.
Hi friends! Today we're talking about something super cool called pronouns. Pronouns are little words that help us talk about each other. We all have pronouns. Some people use he and him, like this bear. He's so cuddly. Some people use she and her, like this cat. She's so playful. Some people use they and them. Oh, like this frog. They like to hop. Can you say he's so cuddly? Good. Can you say she's so playful? Good. And it's important to ask people what their pronouns are, because you can't always tell by what they look like. Here's how you do it. Hi, my name is Lily. My pronouns are she and her. What about you? Then the other person can tell you their name and pronouns.
So this is Lily Tino doing her best Miss Rachel impersonation, and you could be saying, well, Chinchilla, she's just trying to help out younger kids. It's not that serious. But where it does become serious is when you learn this one simple fact. On this same page, Lily Tino is offering up her OF account. She's promoting it, she wants people to see it, and she wants people to buy it. Now, that could be fine, all good and dandy, if she didn't target people of the age range of Miss Rachel's audience, which typically is around 8 and below. Like, let's be honest here. So when you're offering up your OF account at the same time, who do you think you're trying to target? Is it just the random mix of fans, young and old? And of course, he could say, oh, well, celebrities have tons of young and old fans and they model for their OF accounts. Yeah, sure, but they're in an entirely different position. They're celebrities. They don't necessarily have a target audience unless, you know, like, you're like on the Disney Channel. And even then, when you consider those people, they've got to watch what they do because it's all about public image, and they can't do that either. So the argument is null, because they're going to get fired, they're going to get slandered, and just a bunch of bad things are going to come about it. Look what happened to Hannah Montana, Miley Cyrus. Yeah, when she first popped out, and I think it was 2012, after leaving the Hannah Montana show, it was pure chaos, PR nightmare just about every day. And there was tons of people criticizing her on her switch up. So yeah, Lily, you can be criticized about this because it's completely relevant. This is how I describe like content creation to people. When you put out a certain kind of content, you should expect a certain kind of demographic, all right? When you was a kid and you wanted to watch SpongeBob, you turned on Nickelodeon, you didn't turn on MTV, but if you wanted to watch ridiculousness for like 17 hours a day, because that's all they started playing there eventually, you would turn on MTV, and you would never go to MTV if you wanted to watch SpongeBob, because that's what you know to expect. So if you're building up a child brand, you cannot You cannot do an OF along with it because you're going to have children clicking through your content, seeing what all else you do, and they are going to click on that. There's no ifs, there's no ands, and there's no buts about it, and they're going to see some things they should never see. And you could like try to make it educational all you want, but it's just absolutely disturbing that this is something you would allow. And no guys, it just doesn't end there. Lily Tino will bring up the worst subject matter in the world, no matter who she's around. And I think you guys understand what I'm talking about. Here in the next couple clips I'm going to show you, Lily Tino got hyped up and she was like, you know what, I really want to give an example of my lower half by showing off a lightsaber and kind of giving everyone an idea how it works. Alright, now let's be honest, what's the main crowd that Star Wars attracts? 30-some, 40-year-old men, and the other half, young kids. And don't worry, I'm like 20-some, but I think Star Wars is cool. I'm just joking, guys. But for real, it's still a younger demographic that you seem to be targeting again, Lily.
Is there a video to be had where I talk about my lightsaber? That's got to be a thing, right?
I would really prefer if you would be quiet.
What if I got like a mini lightsaber and then it's like looks like, you know, and I do like a fun video with it? Trying to figure out classic. The thing I'm concerned about is, does it look like a blank? What looks most like a blank? Don't worry about matching. Don't worry about that. What reminds you most of, you know? You know what I'm saying? Is it red?
Just that stance, just that posture, you know exactly what you're getting if you ever walk up on Lily Tino and they're sitting there talking about these subject matters. I mean, I would just run away in an instant. But for real, you might think it's just a joke. Lily Tino is kidding, and that's fine if that's how Lily Tino wants to like do her content, sure. Be weird on the internet, but then don't go to Walmart, be in a kids section looking for the lightsaber, speaking about as loud as you can so your audience can hear you, where just every single parent, every single kid in the aisles can hear you saying stuff about blanks. And should it be red? And no, it shouldn't be red. It shouldn't be any color. You shouldn't be buying a lightsaber if that's what you're using it for. There's just something so wrong about seeing a Grogu stuffy and having Lily Tino walking around it saying, should I use the red lightsaber for my blank or something else? I don't know, just something about that strikes me funny. But causing problems in public is basically the only reason Lily Tino moved to California, from what I can understand, and all of her odd trips to Disney World, which land her in a lot of hot water, as you guys have figured out through this video. So let's go back and look into how Lily Tino first began to get into some controversy because of her trips to Disney World.
That is fancy looking. Cool.
The bottom is from Thailand.
Coconut bread from Thailand.
Yes, sir.
Cool.
Yes,
Oh, ma'am.
No, ma'am, sorry, my bad. And the middle one is from India. Is a cheese bread with the guava sauce.
Thank you. Just like totally sucks the joy out of this bread tower. Makes me want to immediately like leave because I no longer feel like safe here. It's like, oh, my guard now has to be up. I'm not going to enjoy this bread as much because my guard is up. We should be able to go places and not have to worry. I don't think I really want this bread tower, actually. I think I'd rather have the check if that's okay.
Yeah.
I think that's the training. We're supposed to say friend or just not use gendered language. It's like a pretty big thing that Disney has done. Nothing was wrong with bread. I just don't want it anymore. Just because they apologize doesn't mean she doesn't feel sad or offended. Yeah, exactly, right? Like, if you've accidentally ever hurt someone and say, I'm so sorry, it was an accident, do you expect them to be like, oh, it was an accident? Of course, no problem whatsoever. All of that, bro. So I'm nervous. It's exciting. I love Disney World. Okay, so I just beep it here. Put the finger there. Oh, further in. I'm allowed in? I'm not banned from Disney.
No, you're not.
Wow, huge news, thank you. So last year I made a video that a lot of people got upset by where I talked about some things in Disneyland. A lot of y'all thought that video would get me banned from Disney, so let's see if that's true. I'm at the Disney World entrance about to try and get in, so let's see if that video really did get me banned. I paid for a hotel and the tickets, so it would be really unfortunate if that happened at this point.
So now we're where it all started, with Lily Tino getting misgendered in the restaurants, and if I try to find my most empathetic bone in my body, if I just teleport to the time I'm aged 32 and I finally find empathy like the greatest lolcow out there, iDubbbz. I'll be able to say, you know what? I can almost understand Lily Tino's pain right there. You know, we've all like tried to get good at something, maybe basketball or football, and when we finally feel like we're getting close, we just want that acknowledgement, right? We want people to tell us that yes, you are exactly what you are in your mind, but then we have to settle with expectations versus reality, and expectations are normally way better than reality. Like, if you're missing like 1 out of 10 of every one of your jumpers, you're not Michael Jordan yet. You might be getting somewhere as long as someone's playing defense on 1 out of those 10s, because if that's what you're shooting, man, we got to start playing soccer. You aren't meant for your hands. You're a feet person. But you for real have to look into the mirror and acknowledge what you are and what you're not. And if you're going out there and you're talking to someone who's obviously a foreign man, like there's no doubt about that. English doesn't seem to be his first language. We don't even know if it's his second or third. Like, and he accidentally calls you a sir. All right, how are you going to get offended to that guy? And like, he says it twice, yeah, but like, that's probably what he's used to doing. And you go in there and you're like, doesn't he have training? Doesn't he have this, that, and the third? Well, guess what? You have just lost that man his job, most likely. Or at least he's now changing positions. He's probably out in one of those mascot uniforms and he's sweating all day. Thanks a lot, Lily Tino. He was in air conditioning until you came along. But you, just like that man, judged him without really knowing what was on his mind. Why didn't you have just a little basic communication like, hey man, why did you say that to me? And maybe you would have been dead honest with you, Lily, and you could have found the root of your problem. But you know what you did? You said, you know what, I just don't want this bread anymore. You've been very passive aggressive, and that guy did you a whole lot. He gave you a free meal and everything. Like, that's very big, because you know what? That probably went out of his paycheck because he didn't want to lose his job. You know what? Paying for 1 meal, way better than not having an income for at least a week or two. And then you got to start a new job, wait another 2 weeks to get paid. You really screwed this man up, most likely. And if he didn't get fired, good on Disney, because he didn't deserve to. It's not his right to protect your feelings 24/7. If you're out in public, anyone and everyone can hurt your feelings. If you're on the internet, anyone and everyone can hurt your feelings. If that's what you want to avoid, you gotta be like SpongeBob, and all you'll be left with is penny, potato chipped, and used tissue, and you can live happily forever like that, just sitting in the dark all day. But you're probably going to get a little bored, because I think what you enjoy, and this is just my opinion, is ruining these people's day, and it also gets you content. But guys, I guess that's enough for me today. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to drop a like, subscribe, follow all the socials down below, and I'll catch you guys next time.